Bobby has an amazing story. We know he went to Brown and he's a Rhodes Scholar, so we know he's very well educated. But he has a passion for people and he truly loves the Lord. One of the things that I know we need going into the future are visionary leaders who understand Proverbs 29:18, that without a vision, people cast off restraint. But at a very young age, we started seeing the construct of an amazing visionary in Bobby Jindal. At 24 years old, he was appointed by the governor of Louisiana to be the Secretary of Health and Hospitals. 24 years old. He was elected twice to Congress, and then he became the governor of Louisiana. With your help, please help me welcome perhaps the next president of these United States, Governor Bobby Jindal.
Thank you.
The way our format works is we have asked the audience to provide us with questions. What Trey and I will do is go back and forth asking the governor questions, and what we don't really want are 30-second sound bites. We really want to hear the answer to the question, and if we don't hear the answer to the question, we're going to ask it again. Does that make sense? All right. Well, the first question, Bobby, comes from Thomas Hanson. Are you here, Thomas? Would you wave at me if you're here? There you are, Thomas. Thank you. All right. His question is, what are your views on Planned Parenthood?
Thomas, that's a great question, especially given what's going on back at home today in Baton Rouge. So, Planned Parenthood in Louisiana, let me start off by saying Planned Parenthood does not do any abortions in Louisiana. And I'm proud Louisiana has been the most pro-life state 6 years in a row since I've been governor. We have fought to make that happen. I will say this. I said during the debate on Fox, I said they better hope Hillary Clinton wins this election, because President Jindal is going to send the Department of Justice and the IRS to go and investigate them January of 2017. And after I said that, the media jumped all over me. They said, well, you couldn't mean that. I mean, you can't send the Department of Justice and the IRS. And they said, you want to take that back. And so let me just clarify. We will send the Department of Justice. We will send the IRS. We will send the EPA. We will send OSHA. We'll send every government agency. I'm going to send Trey after him.
Governor, Linda Garner from Greenville. Linda, are you here? There she is. She wants you to address the Iranian deal that the president has negotiated and the House and Senate will soon vote on.
You know, you may have seen the news today. Just when you thought this deal couldn't get any worse, it gets worse. And so today we find out they get to pick the inspectors. They have these confidential agreements that we're not allowed to see. Secretary Kerry admits he hasn't even read the agreements. Let's just stop there for a second. I mean, would anybody here buy a car, buy a house, sign a contract if you hadn't read it? And yet he's asking us to vote for a deal where he is admitting, he is saying, I'm not saying that, he is saying that. We're about to start potentially a nuclear arms race in the Middle East. It doesn't just end with Iran. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Egypt, they're not going to let a Shia country be the only ones with a nuclear capability. Maybe they'll go buy it from the Pakistanis. What happened? At one point, we were told we would get anytime, anywhere inspections. Didn't get that. We were told they'd have to export all their enriched uranium. Didn't get that. We were told they'd have to give up all their centrifuges, not keep over 6,000. Didn't get that either. This president is trying to convince us that a bad deal is better than no deal. You know, he really does not seem to believe and understand that peace through strength works. Weakness is provocative to evil. I signed the Tom Cotton letter. I signed the letter to the Iranian regime saying this is not a binding deal. The president can't say it's a treaty and not a treaty. He doesn't want the 2/3 vote in the Senate and call it a treaty. I don't consider it binding on me as the next commander-in-chief. And so my message to the Iranians on my first day in office will be that the United States will not allow you to become a nuclear power. That is an existential threat to Israel, to Europe, and the United States.
What role, if any, does the federal government, and in particular the president, have as it relates to education?
That's a great question. So just as a little way of background, I'm actually in federal court right now suing Arne Duncan, saying that the Federal Department of Education has violated the 10th Amendment to the Constitution and 3 federal laws in trying to push Common Core into our classroom. And they should not be able to do that. Historically, constitutionally, we have felt like K through 12 educational efforts are better led at the local and state, not the federal levels. That has never been the primary federal responsibility. I still believe that to be the case.
You had to pick a single issue to focus your attention. The first 100 days of your new administration, what would be the number one goal you would want to achieve as new Commander-in-Chief?
So the most important thing we've got to do is we've got to shrink the size of this government, both because we can't afford it, but also because as it expands, it's taking away our freedoms. It's creating government dependence. We're going to have more people in the cart than pulling the cart. You know, the EU can bail out Greece, but we are the last hope for the free world. Reagan reminded us that we were the shining city on the hill, but he also reminded us every generation has to renew those principles of freedom. Previous generations have spilt great blood and treasure so we could live in this amazing country. This is our time to choose. What are we willing to do to secure our freedoms?
Governor, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence and informing the electorate about what you think about the issues far beyond the soundbite. How about Governor Bobby Jindal? Did he do a good job?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.